have been major efforts in a wide range of countries around the world to modify national building codes to allow the construction of taller timber buildings. Australia is no exception. The wood and wood products industry have been highly active over the last 3 years, undertaking an extensive fire testing program and analysis, and working with a wide range of building industry stakeholders to support a proposal for change to allow mid-rise timber buildings. This has now been accepted and incorporated in the 2016 Australian National Construction Code. In this module, these changes will be summarised. In this presentation, we will look at the 2016 National Construction Code Volume 1 and its goals, the different National Construction Code compliance pathways available, and then overview the code changes to the deemed to satisfy provisions that now allow mid-rise timber construction. The National Construction Code, or NCC, is the regulatory framework for determining the minimum design and construction requirements for buildings in Australia. NCC Volume 1, the Building Code of Australia, is applicable for Class 2 to Class 9 buildings and is the document relevant to mid-rise timber construction. From here on in, we will simply refer to this document as the NCC. As stated in the document, the goal of the NCC is to enable the achievement of nationally consistent minimum necessary standards of relevant safety, including structural safety and safety from fire, health, amenity, and sustainability. There are two pathways available under the NCC to demonstrate performance requirements. These compliance solutions include a performance solution approach, formerly known as an alternative solution, and/or a deemed to satisfy solution. It is this latter deemed to satisfy solution that will be covered in this educational resource. A new Wood Solutions technical design guide entitled Mid-Rise Timber Buildings has also been developed, which covers much of the material delivered in this educational resource. Let's now look at the specific changes included in the new 2016 NCC. There have been 6 major clause changes or inclusions. The first is in Section A, General Provisions, Part A1, Interpretations, where 2 new definitions have been added in Clause A 1.1 for fire-protected timber and massive timber. Fire-protected timber means fire-resisting timber building elements that comply with Specification A 1.1. And massive timber is defined as an element not less than 75 mm thick and formed from chemically bonded laminated timber that includes cross-laminated timber, laminated veneer lumber, or glued laminated timber. In Section A, General Provisions, a new Specification A 1.1, Fire-Protected Timber, has been provided, which defines the required performance of fire-protected timber and methods of verification with deemed to satisfy plasterboard solutions. We will look at this in more detail shortly. In Section C, Fire Resistance, Part C1, Fire Resistance and Stability, a new clause C1.13, Fire Protected Timber Concession, has been added to deem fire-protected timber to be non-combustible, subject to appropriate controls. This is one of the key new clauses, so let's look at it in a little bit more detail. We can see that it refers to fire-protected timber in Class 2, 3 or 5 buildings. It also requires specific building elements to have a certain fire resistance level, or FRL. And the building must have an effective height of not more than 25 metres, effectively around 8 stories in height. The building must also have a sprinkler system installed throughout, and any insulation used needs to be non-combustible. Cavity barriers must also be provided in accordance with Specification C 1.13. These requirements are discussed in greater detail in other modules. In Section C, Fire Resistance, a new specification has also been added, Specification C 1.13, Cavity Barriers for Fire-Protected Timber, which defines the locations and performance requirements of cavity barriers to address the risk of spread of fire or smoke through cavities in the building. So these are the 6 major clause changes or inclusions to the 2016 National Construction Code Volume 1, which now allow for a deemed to satisfy pathway for mid-rise timber construction up to an effective height of 25 metres. For further information on wood and wood products, visit woodsolutions.com.au, the website for wood.